Time for another SkaredCast battle report. Today, 1500 points of very competitive Eldar versus 1500 points of Dark Eldar with Eldar allies. Let's get this Maelstrom of War bloodbath started. Welcome to the game. We're playing Mission 1, Maelstrom of War, which is a basic Maelstrom of War mission. We have 1500 points of Eldar, which consists of 6 Hornets in 3 units, 2 single Bright Lance Warwalkers, some Dark Reapers with a Farseer on a jet bike, 3 units of 5 Wolf Spiders with an Exarch in each in a aspect host, 4 units of scat bikes, and that's pretty much it. My Dark Eldar army is all in reserve. I'm deploying that one model out of line of sight of most of the army. He's starting to do some scout moves. Let's see if I can survive. It is not night fight on turn 1. And I will attempt to seize the initiative just to prevent the Eldar from getting a second turn of shooting on me. On a 6. It does not happen. Let's move on to turn 1. Operation Survive Turn 1 has been successful. Turn 1, Eldar. A lot of Eldar movement and shooting. Saw the Raider die, and with some good wound allocation stuff, lookout rolls and decent feel no pains, every single Grotesque is alive with 1 wound remaining. The Autarch is alive, the Lamian is alive. 1 Hornet immobilized itself on that crater after flatting out. But they can flat out and shoot, so they did shoot a little bit into the Grotesque, but most of the damage came from that Warp Spider unit, bikes, and these Hornets, and that Bright Lance Warwalker. So, we're moving on to Dark Eldar turn 1, and the Eldar have scored 3 points plus first blood for killing a unit and shooting, and for scoring objective 1 that is back in there by some Warp Spiders as well. So, moving on to Dark Eldar, Eldar turn 1. I had the Autarch join the Lamian. These guys got out, and then they tried to charge the Warp Spiders. They needed a 7 and rolled a 6. They were literally millimeters away. We measured it. We decided that we would go by the rules and not thematics. And now it's turn 2 for the Eldar. I got Secure Objective 4 twice. Secure Objective 4 is over here. I'm keeping Secure Objective 4. And I also got Kill Unit in close combat. They failed the charge, so I have discarded that card. 0 points to the Dark Eldar. Let's move on to the next turn. Eldar turn 2, and the Eldar Dark Eldar forces are no more. The Eldar High Command ordered them to scour the skies to Kingslayer, because they saw the aberration was my warlord out in the open, and to Supremacy with no Eldar units, the Dark Eldar units on the board, meaning that the grand total is plus warlord 6, 7, 10, 11 points to 0 so far. Let's see what the Dark Eldar can do. Now, the Warlord trait for the Eldar was Strategic Warlord trait of -1 to all reserve rolls, and the Autarch has gone down. So I have units coming in on a 4+. Let's see what will happen. I have 2 Ravagers to arrive. 1 arrives. I have 3 Venoms to arrive. None arrive. I have the Raider with Warriors. Does not arrive. I have the Razorwing Jet Fighter. Does not arrive. I have the Warwalkers. Arrive. They're outflanking. I have the Warp Spiders. They do not arrive. And the Eldar Jet Bikes that arrive. Okay, not very much has come on the board. This will get intense. So I got Secure Objective 5. The Eldar Jet Bikes have objective secured that, sacrificing themselves dearly. The Razorwing arrived from reserve and shooting. Saw 2 Dark Reapers die. The unit of Jet Bikes here take 1 casualty and run off the table. A scatter from a blast hit that unit of Jet Bikes, killed 1. They ran off the table. 2 of the Wolf Spiders passed armor saves, nothing happened to that one. And then the Warwalkers and this Ravager captured objective 4, that is a Skyfire Nexus, and killed the 2 Hornets that were there. So we're moving on to Eldar, turn 3, and the Dark Eldar have 3 points now. They are on the board. Let's move on to turn 3. The Eldar High Command asked them to scour the skies again. Skyborne Assault, which means a jet bike unit needs to kill something. My jet bike survived a shooting from the jet bikes and the Warp Spiders, but got killed in the assault versus the Warp Spiders. My Razorwing jinked and survived the Hornets, the Warwalker, and more Warp Spiders with 1 hull point that it took, but it is immobilized, so the sneaky Eldar have boosted some bikes 18 inches up to kill it, but that will prevent them from getting Sky Assault. Shooting from this on this flank did nothing to the Ravager and the Warwalkers, so it was now moving on to Dark Eldar turn 3, and I'm still at -1 to my reserve rolls. So it's on 4s. Let's see if the other the other Ravager shows up. He does not. Let's see if the 3 Venoms arrive. 2 of them do. And let's see if the Raider with Warriors arrives. It does not. And the Warp Spiders, they do. Okay, moving on to turn 3. So High Command ordered me to overwhelming firepower, kill an enemy unit, secure objective 1, which is back there, and behind enemy lines. I had the Venom, basically my entire fleet, arrive here, and combined shooting saw the Farseer Warlord and his jet bikes die for overwhelming firepower. While the Warp Spiders have kind of jumped around, they killed these 2 Hornets here. That allows me now to kind of jump behind here without getting a shot. So we're moving on to turn 4 for the Eldar. What will happen? The score is now 11 points to the Eldar, 5 points the Dark Eldar with that Warlord kill. Let's see what we can do at the end of this turn. Okay, Eldar turn 4. We had a consolidation of forces here. The Warwalker luckily killed the Ravager, and the Barrage Dark Reaper killed 3 of the Warp Spiders. We're moving on to turn 4 Dark Eldar, and 1 more point was scored by the Eldar. So the Dark Eldar are going on to the next turn. Okay, so the Dark Eldar reserves arrived. Ravager and Warwalkers killed the Warwalker and the Exarch. The rest of the army 2 are boosted behind this big wall to capture behind enemy lines with 3 units, and I only rolled a 1. But now we're moving on to Dark Eldar turn 5, and we have 7 points to 12. Let's move on to the next turn. Eldar turn 5. We had the Warp Spiders jump up, combined shooting, put 2 hull points on that Jinking Raider. The Venom died to the Warwalker, denying a point, and the rest of the army is just kind of moved up. We're moving on to Dark Eldar turn 5. Could be the end of the game. 5. We had secure objective 6, which this Venom has been able to do. Ascendancy, which is D3 points for 3 objective markers, which I do have, and the Dark Eldar gain 3 points for that one. Okie dokie. And Domination, which is impossible for me to get this turn. If the game continues, I will be able to push for that objective. So we're now sitting at the end of turn 5. The Warp Spiders jumped around with their blinking, and then that Hornet unit jinked from a lot of shooting. So, does the game continue on to turn 6? And the game is over. Wow, what a battle. Do you have great game, sir?
Very good game.
So, any last comments?
Well, the Eldar struck hard, and then the Dark Eldar struck hard, but it was an Eldar victory in the end.
It was damn close, though. We'll come back with a quick recap. Okay, at the end of the game, the Dark Eldar have gained 4. The Dark Eldar have gained 12 victory points, and the Eldar have finished the game with 14 points. Wow, what a close one towards the end of the game. This will be talked about more on the Tactical Corner as I discuss what crazy stuff happened this turn and what I was banking for. Had the game gone to turn 6 or 7, I might have given this competitive Eldar army a run for its money. I think I did. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thanks a lot for tuning in, subbing, liking, sharing, subscribing, and supporting on Patreon. You guys are awesome. And I hope you enjoyed another installment of these battle reports. This is Skari, your regular host from Black Knight Games in Hamilton, out. Hello and welcome to another Tactical Corner. This is a very interesting Tactical Corner. I was playing my competitive Dark Eldar, which has some Eldar allies in it, and quite a few Venoms and a Razorwing. It's a very varied list, but it's definitely a lot more competitive than my Michael Mudd Memorial army, against a hyper competitive Eldar army with 6 Corsair Hornets with double pulsar lasers, 4 units of Scat Bikes, a Farseer, Dark Reapers, and 15 Warp Spiders. I knew I was going to get absolutely blasted this game. Just look at that deployment. Pitched battle, all the Hornets have Scout so they can move up, and then they can turbo boost and still snap shoot when they turbo boost with their upgrades. I knew I was in for a rough game this game. So I had to take a big gamble. Because he had decided to go first, that meant he was going to have 2 full turns of shooting at me. Using line of sight blocking terrain, I deployed as little as possible. The Grotesques, knowing that they were fearless, and they had feel no pain and high toughness, which meant that if anything, I would try and have them survive the complete onslaught of the Eldar army long enough for my reserves to come on and have some effect on the game. All in all, I was trying to just be able to play the game. Now, my Grotesques failed that charge on turn 1. Very close charge. Had they gotten into the Warp Spiders, it would have really started becoming more of an interesting game, and that would have been maybe even a win for me later in the game. All in all, in turn 2, my little force got completely wiped out, but it was something that I was indeed expecting to happen, and I was glad that I was able to survive long enough for me to start bringing on reserves. Now, because I had refused flanked, that meant that he had maneuvered all of his firepower in order to try and wipe me out completely and prevent me from bringing on my reserves, which on turn 2 arrived, and then I started to be able to dictate the pace of the game. Now, I did get kind of lucky with 2 Hornets immobilizing themselves on a crater, but what I was able to do was use my lowly reserves to really start focusing on key units that I needed to destroy, while staying out of range and of line of sight of certain different models. Now, as my reserves came on, I focused mostly on the Scat Bikes with my Venoms, because I knew I could kill them. I pretty much ignored the Warp Spiders, because I wouldn't be able to kill them with shooting, with all the line of sight blocking, and used my Ravagers effectively to take out the Warwalkers on that flank, and the Razorwing, who then did prove his worth by taking out 2 of these Scat Bike units with its missiles, as the Eldar army had kept all cluttered up. Now that meant I was able to start raking up the points, playing to the game, and towards the end of the game it really started to be an uphill battle, but it was a lot closer than it seemed. Had I gotten a better role for domination or for behind enemy lines, this could have easily been a draw or a win, even against a crazy opponent like the one I faced. So always keep your chin up, play the game to the very end, and stay tuned for more content. Check the links down below. Skari out.